All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the new era, or the new era, however you want to pronounce it. But basically, for those that are just joining us, my name is A-Rye, or Alex, and I make Minecraft videos. I also do a bunch of violent video games, but I like to meditate and enjoy some peacefulness that is Minecraft. And as to why we're doing a new playlist, well, it was time. The Two Taboos had run its course, and I think I said what I needed to say. I think my microphone was starting to give out at the end there. I actually need to, as I say that, I need to double check the live videos up on YouTube from a other computer to make sure that this at least sounds better. I mean, I'm not a professional yet, but I may not be, but let's see. But no, the Two Taboos covered basically the two prickly conversations of religion and politics, specifically America. I mean, I can't really speak a lot for other countries. I've traveled a lot. I mean, not a lot, but like I'm starting to travel a lot more, and trying to like get a big picture of everything and try to figure out good good solutions, or at least solutions that will help contribute to where we need to go, just to maintain peace and civility. I mean, we say that we're doing it, we think that we're doing it, I mean, more or less, but then like the UN, like it's been a goal for many, many years now of everybody, peace, all that. But it's the greed. It's the greed and the misunderstandings that continues to drive it. And as an American, I can say, because I've seen this quite a bit. We don't all drive sports cars. We don't all have mansions. We don't, these things need to be understood. Also, I need to make this ceiling a little taller. I guess I did. Never mind. That's like the appropriate height, even with stairs. And it still feels a little cramped, but yeah, this is a recovery world. Oh, and why a new world? Yes, I've started making like a little factory in here, but a new world because pride cometh before the fall. I was building this really nice, massive temple, and like making it a huge to where you could see it on a mini map or on the map, which I think I'll make the new one here, like connecting a few biomes, because there's actually a mushroom biome over there. I looked up this seed. Oh, but why am I not over there continuing my giant temple? Because I was dusting and I left my game on, and somehow I guess I jiggled it and it turned off the PlayStation, and it disconnected mid-game without saving. I swear there's mushrooms over there. I also turned down the render distance. My son actually changed it to have like field of view, make it a fisheye. Anyways, turning off the PlayStation deleted my old world. And I did not back it up. So this one I will try to back up. I did already put the buzzsaw the sideways way, because I always wanted to see what that looks like, but I almost always place it looking at the crafting table instead of like that. And still, I think it could be better. Let's see. Nope, I guess it's just sideways. It's going to have the pointed blades going to the right or to the right. Or coming at you. Well, no, because... Anyways, let's try and make the points go the other way. There's something else we should do. It's just getting a little overbearing, and I kept meaning to do this in the other ones. Actually, 60. Jesus, it's a little loud. There we go. Okay, so anyways, religion and politics. Very prickly conversations, and for good reason. Let's see, let's go ahead and... Do I have axes? Yeah, I need a couple more. Sticks. Wait, what? Oh, I think I made a bunch of torches. Anyways. It's weird starting out all over again, but it is kind of fun. Oops. Stone. I mean, I do have iron, but I'm still just... Yeah. Okay, so now that we do a mundane task, we can get back to the matter at hand. The new era. So now, I've talked a lot about like what the problems are, like specifics even, trying to get like viewpoints from the quote unquote either side. And our country is very split nice and evenly into Democrats and Republicans. Now, I mean, there are people that are like, they say they're in the middle, but almost always they do have a strong opinion, like, nope, this way or nope, that way. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that really is like, oh, this year I'm going to vote red. Oh, no, this year I'm going to vote blue. I just don't think that happens because, like, either your family raises you to be a certain way. Like, I mean, I think if anything, most people just don't vote in that situation. Like, they just choose to be like, you know what? I don't care about this. It causes me too much stress that I'm just not even going to do it. So, and I don't know. And it's a sad day that it's come to that. Like, we've allowed it to be, like, razzle-dazzle and showmanship over logic and reason and what's really good for the country. So, and both ways, too. I'm a little biased because I see only the rose-colored glasses side of the Democrats, like, because I only ascribe to that type of media. Now, if I hung out on, and I hang out in, like, some really Republican-heavy areas, not a lot, and actually, so Twitter was great because it forced everybody to do that for a while there, or X app or whatever now. But, you know, it forced everybody out of their echo chambers and into talking to other people, and it was very prickly in itself, like, you know, there was a lot of hate for Elon just over that. Now, I mean, I like the guy at times and then I hate the guy at times. Like when I think about apartheid Africa, I'm not a big fan of him and his family. However, you know, he has been a leader in electric vehicles for years, catching all sorts of flack and like all sorts of like speculation and like, he's not going to do good. He's not going to, you know, and it's just ridiculous because he understands scientifically that there is a problem with climate and that we need to fix it. So, you know, and Teslas, for all, I mean, from what I've seen, they're pretty neat cars. Like, I don't think I could ever afford one, and I'm very happy with my Ford. And, you know, and I have family that used to work for the Ford factory and old bosses that I respect a lot. Like, their family grew up working for Ford. So a little bit is biased that way, too. My parents hated Chevy for whatever reason. I think Chevys are okay. Like, I honestly, that's one of the things where I could say I just don't care. I mean, I like my car. It works. Like the one before it was also a Ford and it was very dependable and like, you know, and that's fine. But I also had the privilege of having inmate labor from the prison up in Buena Vista. So that's one thing. My car before that was an Alera, an Oldsmobile. It was like a granny car. And I was like a little, you know, white trash, like wannabe black teen. Like I love the hip hop culture, and I hated that it was almost exclusively black. I mean, or African American. I don't even know what, like, that was a confusing term for me the other day too, because we were talking about Jamaica, like how Kamala is like part Jamaican black. So it's like, but that's not really African American, then that's African Jamaican. Like, and that makes sense, but I've never heard that. So it's just like, you know, anyways, not to go down that whole rabbit hole, because at the end of the day, a lot of people, like, I mean, if you listen to a lot of Eminem songs, like, he lays it out very clearly, like, you know, everybody picked up the hip-hop culture and loved it because everybody had the common underlying thread of being poor. We are all poor, especially compared to, like, you know, the wealthy, fancy people, like, with their, you know, la-di-das and all that. Not trying to make this sound like I'm leading up to a revolution or anything. I'm not. I mean, if anything, maybe a peaceful revolution of logic and reason where we don't do things like the purge and stuff, which I was actually just watching a YouTube video where it had that, and it's like, crazy concept. I mean, but no, there's so many better ways. Like, I mean, and it is communication. Communication is going to win outright on both sides too, because we're also not as poor as we think. And that's something I really had to struggle with, like, understanding myself, because we like to be seen and heard. And so a lot of times we'll manufacture or even exaggerate our perception of how our situation is. And that's why, like, you know, frames of reference are great to kind of put you back in your place and remind you of, like, what's reality, what's not, or what's exaggeration. And my dad had a lighter, actually, that an old Zippo, and I smoked too. I hated it because it was so unhealthy. I finally quit. But anyways, his tobacco. Anyways, but yes, it said perception is reality, and that's so spot on, because we will mold, we will change, we will, like, adhere everything around us to what we perceive to be true, what our reality is. Now, I mean, that doesn't just mean that you can manifest a taco into existence and there it will be on the table. And I did just look at my table. I don't even want to taco though, but I just wanted to see, I'm just kidding. But in South Park again, like South Park has an episode where Kyle reads into a bunch of philosophy books and like, starts to lose his own grip on reality, and it was very, very funny, very entertaining episode. But no, reality, like confirmation bias, echo chambers, all these things that we will try to stay where it's comfortable, like associate with the people that we know are going to either agree with us or just not say anything and just let us say what we want. I mean, because there's both types too, and there's both situations, and it's not fair to pigeonhole a person into only doing one or the other. And because it could be of multiple states depending on the time, the day, like, so many other factors. Like, did they just hear something that was really, shocking one way or the other? I mean, at the same time, I still say I have not heard anything of the Republican propaganda or information or anything, or even entertainment like Fox News is. I have not heard one single thing where I'm just like, you know what? I think I should vote Republican. No, it's always like, oh, okay, that's a good point. I respect that opinion and I'm a little intrigued. I want to go look into that. And I've done that too, like specifically, oh wait, I can't talk about that because I already got a ding. Well, we'll just say India and how they realized some stuff that wasn't necessarily true and they fixed it. We'll just leave it at that because I don't want to get in trouble again. But there have been times where I'm just like, hey, that is interesting. I want to know more. And then I usually go and find it. But same with the other side too, like the Nazis with the tiki torches and like the good people on both sides. Like that's one of my only examples of democratic falsehoods. I mean, and well, not my only example, because I did get called out from a friend for posting false information on Trump back in the day when he first was a thing. And she was like, hey, as much as I like to stick it to this guy, and I really don't like this guy, you're posting fake news. Or she didn't say it as fake news. She said, you're posting misinformation, and you should really check this. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And thank you for telling me that. I mean, I was a little hurt at first. I was like, oh, crud. Even though she was very gentle about it, she was very kind, caring about it. And I was just like, but I'm so glad she did, because it made me question, like, wait, is everything I just repost like actually true? And and we like to, when we have time to think about it, we like to say, well, it's the burden of the reader to check and see if that's true or not. Well, yes, in a way, but it's also the burden of the poster to do a little due diligence and just do a quick Google search and make sure, like, is this real or is this not? And and I used to love watching Colbert and Jon Stewart and those shows, and Comedy Central in general, but it just got too much. And then you see this thing where, like, if a newspaper would print something false, they would print the correction a week later on page six or seven when the original one was front page news. And that's how, like, a kind of partially intentional bias creeps into our news and like our news networks and stuff. And then it doesn't help that a lot of our news networks are owned by the same people and companies, so they're going to have the same or very similar management. I mean, it's only going to vary within a few things, and that's why, the more ridiculous sources of news or information have been getting more traction and popularity, even though with the good comes the bad. Like, there's going to be a flood of more fake information. Oh, and sorry, I never finished that thought earlier. I do that a lot, so the people that know me will know this, but this is the new era because now it's the application phase. We've done enough of the talking about, the musing, the theorizing. Now it's time for the application. So, and again, nothing scary. Like, I'm going to be doing work on a web server, which is going to be horrible, and it's going to be horribly flawed security-wise, and it's actually going to just be a virtual machine on a local network that doesn't have access to the internet. That's it. So, like, for those that are trying to hack me this whole time, for one, I see you. No, I'm just kidding. I don't, but the cops do. No, as a cybersecurity professional, I do now have, like, mentions on watch lists. So, like, there's a chance. Ooh, look at the snow. There's a chance that they could be documenting my comings and goings and stuff. But, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I doubt it. They're not actively, I'm sure, because, who's got the time? And I've been very boring for several years now. But, no. Anyways, back to the thing. The application. So building a web server to do a voting system, a system that you can log into, and it's going to correspond with the email that you have on file with the voting people, whoever it is. I don't even know. Like, there's like a whole organization of the government that, you know, there's an elected official that, like, you know, I forget, like, they actually have like a title, like the county clerk or something. I don't know, but there are people that their job is to do the election and do it right. And so, and this idea of just having a web server for free, mind you, like anything I do, I'm just going to give the GitHub link to the project folder, you know, all the files of the website, you know, how the database is set up, everything just done, just out of the box. You can at least do this, and then someone can take it and run from there. Like, keep it updated, keep it patched, like keep it safe as it should be, you know, maintain it. And there are people that do that, and it's a lot easier, trust me, than all the campaign watchers that we had. I was just watching that whole thing. Like, the whole system is horribly barbaric. Like, the paper and the amount of paper you have to do, the secrecy sleeve. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my mail-in ballot. Like, I don't think, I mean, I would still vote, but, oh, it'd be so much more painful to vote if I didn't have that. Like, have to, like, take time off from work, which, luckily, my job would actually gives us time to go vote. In fact, I took an hour just to go drop off my mail-in ballot. Like, I was like, you know what? I forgot about that. Let me go do it. And it wasn't even a presidential one. I'd vote in every election, so. But it would be so much easier if it was just like all those TV shows we had, like The Voice, or I forget what it was before that, but like, where people could just vote from their phones. Like, you know, text your vote choice to this number, and then you get charged for the text. So, and then the phone companies, like, you know, there was a big thing for that. They had to kick up, you know, or like they got a cut because of all the charges of the text. But still, all the voting, you know, even if it was just like 10 cents per, which was what used to be what every single text message costs, you know, you get 500,000 votes just in one night and 1 hour, lock it in, you know, that's, wait, 500,000, so let's say it's 50, wait, I don't want to do math right now. It's a lot. I mean, say it was $1 a text, which actually I would not doubt it. I could see a charge being like that. Like, you use this this voting service, you know, it's $1. So then $500,000. So then half of that, if it was 50 cents, it would be 250. And then a fifth of that would be 50,000. There you go. Whew. So $50,000 on just one vote. But if you're only paying 10 cents a text to do the vote thing, then that's $50,000 every time 500,000 people vote. And if you're doing this every election and stuff, and it's just a charge, the cost of business, like the convenience fee, you know, you can vote by your phone. Even if it costs $1, I would pay $1 to vote from my phone. You get the entire country's population. I mean, you should still have the free option of going in person, of course, where they will just push the button that sends the same, you know, the same system. Like, and it's got to be so easy, so incredibly easy and simple that anybody can understand it and feel confident and comfortable that they understand it. Because it's not just like, oh, I think this is easy, it works on my machine, they should be able to do it. Absolutely not. We need to stop assuming, and for the most part, tech people do. Like, this is kind of more like when I was in school, like over a decade ago now, or no, getting close, but when I started, definitely, yeah. Times change. Like, we've been saying it enough in the computer science and programming communities that, and same with IT communities, it's no longer the one IT guy with a bunch of beepers that's all grumpy. He's like, you know, I'll get to it when I get to it. You know, it's like, no. IT is now very proactive, very understanding of even your feelings, your frustrations, your emotions. Like, I sometimes feel like I'm a therapist more than I'm an IT tech, and that's great. Like, administering systems doesn't just stop at the tech. Sorry, that was a little soapbox off to the side, but, oh, and by the way, I did not find a jungle in this new world. I got this in a starter chest, so I don't consider a starter chest cheating. I do that because hopefully I get a few trees, and actually, as I say that, I think I got a different one. Well, no, let's, oh, that made me jump. Whew. Let's leave a couple, enough to grow another tree in case we ever goof up and, you know, don't collect them. Because they're very finicky, but it might have been a spruce, but then I found this biome, which, nice snowy spruce biome. Yeah, and I guess that, I did get some mangrove log, I think that's what I was thinking of. And then there's a cherry blossom tree biome over here. So, I don't know. So the application of this, making a web server, and actually, I want to just make a website anyway to make it like MySpace, but again, the security thing, and you know, definitely not ever trying to make money off of anything, but just being able to have like a place that's easy and convenient to go, that it has, sorry, now I'm all sorts of distracted. Let's go ahead and get this and get some more spruce wood, because that's actually the easiest wood to harvest in my opinion, but it does create pods oil, so we're now going to have a lot of pods oil here. But anyways, the voting thing could even be done by Google Sheets, I want to say, honestly. Like, I mean, the idea is like, as soon as everybody's comfortable with exposing their voter registration number to the world and not caring that, oh, they might know your number and that number voted for this person, but it's almost impossible to trace back to who that number is, because it's just a randomly generated hash and it could be changed any number of ways. But what I'm going to do just to start out is create the hash. And again, we're still doing some more planning and stuff, so I'm actually going to sit down and do this today, telling that mostly to myself. Create a Node.js server. Once I create the server, have a basic Hello World website. Then after that, try to link a database. And after that, try to be able to send, like have the user or somehow read from like an email, because I'm thinking email might be the way to go. Like if you could just submit your choices in an email poll or a Google poll, like, because even then, but then you have to take the results from some source and plug those into a database, and you got to keep that database protected so it's not being tampered with. Like only one person can write to it, and that's a person locally logged into a physical machine, hardwired into a server. Like, you know, no one else can make changes, and then edits are sent to that machine. And in the meantime, the people on the other end, or that see the website, they see this nice, doesn't even have to be super fancy, just a whole page full of line items. Like, okay, this voter registration number voted for this person. Oh, and these people, you could have as many as you want on that line. But I mean, already as I say that, I got to be careful, because if we're doing millions and millions of people, then each web server needs to be able to accommodate millions and millions of line items that update semi-regularly. Like you could make it live, especially if this was done by a professional company, like no problem. But like for just like even testing purposes, like I spent more time on the Python script just to be able to generate users to use the system. So, which I did, and I was making a combination of first name, last name, and then I forget, but I threw something on there to salt it at the end, like some additional thing, like maybe date time or something, I don't know. Because even if you did date time, the way that Linux keeps track of like how much time it's been since the epoch or the beginning of like Linux, I don't even know if it's the epoch, I just threw out a word. I love that there's lighting here, but I hate it because it's gonna make me jump a lot. That's okay. It's like the gods are wanting to be involved in this, the gods of Minecraft. Or God, whatever. If we find out that's a thing, I mean, even Zeus was like the head god, you know. People think it's such a stretch to like go from polytheism to monotheism. Like seriously, angels, that's it. All you got to do is change like demigods to angels, one quick turn of a phrase, and then now polytheism becomes monotheism. You're not that different. Like just talking to people like that get angry. I mean, which thankfully, again, times are changing very quickly. And thanks to communication technology, stuff such as this, people are starting to realize, like, wait, you know, whatever God, we can just assume, especially anybody who's gone to AA. And honestly, like, I mixed going to AA classes, because I did for a long time there. I was like, I thought there was something wrong with me, like, you know, why do I drink so much? Why do bad things happen when I drink? And it's like, no, I'm not that special. Bad things happen to everybody who drinks a lot. Like, eventually, on a long enough timeline, it's a guarantee that you will do something stupid will happen to you, or you'll break a law or something. Like, even just driving when you've had too much, you could put people's lives at risk. So, like, even that, thankfully, I didn't do that. Like, I mean, I wasn't big on driving and drinking, like, but even as I say that, anyways, drinking in general, just not a fan of it. Wow, we went way off topic there. Oh, but Sundays. So one other thing I wanted to try to work on today was starting a new era of Twitch. Like if I could get my Twitch account linked to this, I need to change it too, I apologize to anybody who still watches these that also watch my Twitch stuff. I mean, because I had a bunch of really loyal people, and I really do appreciate that. I even played games with a couple, became friends with one, but then it's more like it's like that Euro trip thing that Scotty doesn't know. Like he didn't know if Mika was a guy or a girl or something, or even like catfishing and all that. But only reverse and like where I'm the messed up person. Like if I end up finding out that I'm playing with like some little kid. No offense to the little kid, which actually that did happen once. I was playing with this kid, and like as I was like playing, we played a DLC of Borderlands, and I was like, wait a minute, this kid sounds pretty young. Like I thought it was like some 18-year-old or at least like, and I think that's young anymore, but like or like some college kid. And it's like, wait, no, this sounds like a middle schooler. And then that's like stranger danger on the other way. You don't want to be doing that, even just because it looks bad. But it's also just weird because it's like, I don't even relate to college kids anymore because I'm so much older than them. Like, I can't even imagine, like, I don't know. Hats off to school teachers and coaches, and they don't relate. That's actually one of the common themes of like school teachers and coaches. They like intentionally will let you know, I don't relate to this, but I'm going to try to guide you through this life because there are some things that I learned in my time. So I mean, it's a mixed bag. So if I can get Twitch on here Sunday nights, like I almost always have Sunday evening free to where I catch up on these videos and like my projects and cleaning. Oh, a lot of cleaning. I've got a load of laundry ready to go. I just did one yesterday. Having kids is so fun. No, I'm kidding. I love it. Like, I'm so happy to be at this stage. Like, it is nice. I just hope, like, my heart doesn't give out or something stupid. So then I feel like Mike in the old Breaking Bad. Only I'm not going to break any rules or laws. I'm going to give them the best world I can. And without further ado, I'm just kidding. That's the whole point of all this. Why I talk to myself so much. Because I don't just want that for my kids. I want that for every kid. And every parent and every people that don't have kids. Like, humanity. Yeah, now you're getting into lofty goals and lofty ambitions. But is it really, though? I mean, just the right framed words, the right timed, the perfect tweet. I used to go on about that. Like, social engineering on a distributed level, positive social engineering. So there's a social engineering where you can manipulate people by their feelings, emotions, or fears. A lot of times, like, call them as the cops, or, say that you're in debt, or the cops are coming for you. That's like, oh, I hate that one. And same with the cringe tactics on the YouTube now, like and subscribe, or you don't like your parents, or you don't love your parents, or you don't love God, or you don't believe in God. And it's like, whoa, hold on now, and it works. But a lot of times that's probably done by kids or teenagers or 20-somethings because the prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until your mid to late 20s. And that is one thing I learned in some of my own treatment stuff, like, because I did drug classes and substance classes and all that, like, I might not have been a big-time driver, like putting people at risk that way, but, you hang out at places long enough, you end up start acting a certain way. I don't know. Yeah, and religion, like, even if you don't believe in it, it's going to believe in you. And by that, I mean, there's going to be somebody somewhere that believes in a certain thing, and that could affect you, like, specifically, like, radical stuff. I mean, look at the current Roe v. Wade thing. Like, that got overturned because of the more religious belief of all abortions are bad. Now, the debate on whether, and I've had some pretty good debate with some people that argue that abortions should just be illegal altogether, or that's how people think, I guess. Like, the proposal is 6 weeks, which still is pretty ridiculous, but at the same time, I don't know. And my personal opinion is, it's like, it's still up to the woman. Like, I mean, it's her body. That's not my thing. But from a scientific standpoint, I was talking about, okay, when does the heartbeat start? When does the brain start doing things? Because if the heart's not even going, then technically it's not alive the way that we consider people alive. And sorry to get into such a deep topic, but the two taboos, I guess, well, we could just leave it there. I already said all this stuff in there. But perspectives and macro level things. So if we're going to apply these things to the real world, we need to draw parallels and use examples from the real world. So, oh, come on. Just one more? All right. We'll do one. Wait. We can only do the one. Unless we go... break some other trees. Oh, there's that one. I don't know. I feel like anything in the immediate area around it like hinders it from growing, but I think I've proven that to be false. But still, I don't know. I don't have my bone meal generator. I don't have anything on this one. That's it. I got this bed. I started making a massive smelting operation. I do have some iron. I was gonna make a castle of some kind, but I do kind of want to make most of my stuff underground, like make it like a nice little hobbit hole. Yep, there's the alarm. And then just like conceal everything, maintain as much of the natural beauty, but at the same time build a massive temple to honor my ancestors and those that have passed away. Because that's the biggest thing that I was like, man, I spent so much time and thought and like, giving the respect to those that can't be here and do all these things. But that's okay. I mean, there is a chance that they have no idea and there isn't anything after this life. But in the off chance that they're up there, I'll redo that. Like I said, there's a cherry blossom biome over here. So that might actually be a nice place, because that always just reminds me of like a cemetery, like a happy cemetery, they should look like versus what they do look like. So, I don't know. Anyways, that's about 30 minutes, so I will see you in the next one. Welcome to the new era, and actually I will go fiddle with some JavaScript right now, or some Node.js. So, ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one.